My name is Myles Laroux. I am an associate advisor here at Highland Wealth, and I also sit in the integrator seat. Yeah, so before EOS, everybody in the organization was running. We were all running towards some unstated common goal, but it wasn't defined, and we really didn't have any sort of metrics around each position. And I guess in that created just a lot of muddy water around success. So you didn't really know when you were winning, when you were losing, what was, quote unquote, a win. And so EOS came in and revamped all of that. Yeah, so as integrator, we really just kind of explain that to people as Myles is the glue. So we got a lot of people doing a lot of different things, wearing several different hats. And at the heart of all of that is that we want to deliver world-class service to people. We don't just want to be an investment firm. We don't just want to do our job every single day, but we really want to be a huge resource for our clients in their financial lives, but also outside their financial lives. And so making sure that a client has the experience that is world-class and that is above all else means being able to nitpick every single part of that experience. So that means looking at how we're onboarding people. Okay, that's somebody's job. How are we handling inbound calls? Okay, that's somebody else's job. And so in a sense, I stepped into this role that is really like fine-tooth combing each person's role. And with that comes some challenges. We've had to make decisions where we've actually had to let somebody go from the team that had been here a long time. And there was a lot of personal connection, but professionally, we just didn't feel like we were getting what we needed. I don't think if I don't step into the integrator role and we don't have that extra layer of accountability there, I don't know that we ever make that move. And so, but everybody that you ask on our team would say we're in a better position today than we ever had been, were we not taking the step, having an integrator, adding that extra layer of accountability. One of the biggest wins on the team is just having a culture now that is clearly defined. Everybody's bought in. It's just something special when you look to your left and to your right within the organization and everybody's running the same race. And we have different gifts. Some people running, a little bit longer, some people running a little bit faster, but ultimately we're all on one mission. And having the integrator seat, I believe, for sure, process that quicker, but also just allowed us to, just to get where we want to go. Having each seat defined gives us a lot better opportunity to work in our gifting. So knowing what I'm great at, knowing what I'm not so great at, knowing strengths and weaknesses and expectations of each seat allows me to know, man, I'm going to double down on this and spend time working in this, or that's so far out of the scope of what I do that's just something that I don't need to ever do. And so learning, the capacity, there's a lot of different language that we speak now that's, EOS language that may not even make sense, but each seat has defined, do you get it? Do you want it? Do you have the capacity to do it? And so as we took a 30,000 foot view of each position within the organization, it really helped me specifically understand where my giftings are and has me working strategically in my giftings. Yeah, there's a lot of business books out there. There's a ton of podcasts, and we probably went from a place of lack of information to over-information and just overstimulation. And what we really needed as an organization was just somebody to be the referee, sit across the table, and just give it to us black and white. We realized really quickly it wasn't something we could do on our own, as much as there are, visionaries and leaders and thinkers all amongst us. We really needed somebody to be a glue and make it all make sense. When I think of Cullen, he's kind of like the coach that you have in middle school that you just hate because he goes and makes you run a mile at the end of practice and you've been busting it all day and now you got to go run a mile. But then when you go to high school and you remember how good that coach was, you just love him to death. And so you hate him when you first meet him maybe, but then you love him when you get the discipline and you get to look back and see, okay, this discipline has just created and called out things within me that I never would have touched touched or never would have grew in, never would have grown in without that. And so big picture, you need a guy like Cullen to be able to just slap you in the face, tell you straight, and remove any emotion that you have in the day-to-day duties of doing your job. He gets to be, a third-party outsider looking in, but that spends enough time to really understand your business and where you're at, to where he can speak very candidly and very directly on what needs to happen. And more often than not, whenever he said it, we implemented it, and it worked out the way he said it.